Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. Uh, got a couple videos, reactions to do. My apologies to whoever is watching for, you know, been a little while since I've put anything up. But, you know, life. So, anyways, so first we have Star Citizen Behind the Ships, the RSI Apollo. So I mean, it's already been released in the PTU, and I've seen a little bit on it, but not gone in depth in it. So I'm glad to see this video out. The new medical ship coming out. So let's go ahead and take a look.
The Apollo is a medium to large ship. It follows the more traditional RSI styling rather than the more modern sort of triangular shape styling we've seen on other RSI ships.
It's flat, it's sleek, it's cutting edge.
Not looking too industrial or like military.
It's like an ambulance and a Lamborghini had a child. Yeah, man.
Interesting analogy.
It's a thing of beauty.
Medical ships in the game provide a variety of functions, ranging from initial treatment of injuries to fixing drug overdoses, as well as
like
ultimately
this
providing
little pan.
respawnability.
It was definitely a bit of a challenge because when I
Oh,
first looked at the
they
ship, it looked
excluded
like it
my
was mostly
Metapin,
flat
though?
shapes.
Boo.
There's a lot of panels that fold in on top of themselves.
And compared to the original concept, it has changed in some ways, mostly dimensionally.
We tried to keep as much of the silhouette as we could, but when it came down to it, it just had to get a little bit wider and a little bit taller.
And yes, the Apollo has the blue lights, so it's nice and visible in space.
Within the Apollo family, there are two variants. The Triage is the base model, and then there is the Medivac, which improves upon the Triage by doubling the missile count and providing heavier armor.
We got a lot of cool paints.
Which I didn't
I think my
think
favorite
the
one
Triage
is the Vitali
even
one
had
that
the
we were
missiles
able to
at
bring
first,
back
so
from the Terrapin.
it's good to know that, and it's just doubled in the
I think overall the ship lends itself well to
Medevac.
all kinds of nice paint jobs. It's just got a nice sleek look to it.
Obviously, medical gameplay tends to follow some combat gameplay or active combat gameplay. And as such, we've improved the offensive and defensive capabilities of the Apollo compared to its original concept standing. Pilot now has a pair of size 4 weapons to control, and their turret now has size 3 weapons on it as well for either the co-pilot to use if there is one, or the pilot has slave control over them by default. When you enter the ship at the rear, you enter into this very fancy airlock ramp area that is wide enough for you to be able to push gurneys up and through and out again. You enter into what we call the triage area.
You're gonna have a central hallway that has a really nice skylight view to the exterior, and on each side you're gonna have windowed walls which are giving you direct view to the med bays.
So this is a immediate place for, once you're on board the ship, to decide which of the two modular medical rooms you are going to put the patient into, or put yourself into.
When you're in the medical bay, you're supposed to sort of have this feeling of sterile, bright colors, which we've also contrasted with the rest of the ship.
If it is not a medical emergency, you have two engineering cargo rooms immediately to your left and right for storing supplies and accessing components.
If you keep going in the center, you're gonna go through a small engineering room.
And then you move forwards into the final room of the ship, which is the bridge and the habitation, as well as the central crew elevator that provides a second entrance into the ship.
The beds are in the bridge because we wanted to leave as much space in the rest of the ship for mostly like the patients.
We've mentioned the Apollo is a modular medical ship, and included with every Apollo is 6 medical modules.
Okay.
And whilst
Good.
there is 6, they are essentially left and right variants of the 3 medical tiers of beds that we have. You have aptly 3 tier 3 beds capable of fixing tier 3 injuries, Tier 3 beds, regeneration wise, are designed for mission specific regeneration ranges such as Align and Mine, Jump Town, or other POIs like that. Tier 2 beds expand that range to encompass a distance that covers pretty much the majority of our planets in the universe. Tier 2 helps you recover from more serious injuries, and there is a pair of board in the Tier 2 medical module. And then we have the Tier 1 medical bed capable of healing and restoring the most serious injuries in the game. And this is the primary ship in the universe at this point that has the regeneration range encompass the whole star system that you're in. And if you're not sure what tier responds to what injury, you can read more about that on the medical guide on our website. The Apollo and other medical ships are primarily designed for those players who want to support and help others in their journey throughout the game. But they are also useful for you as a solo player. If you just want to do things by yourself, you have that sort of home base that you can use in missions.
I'm super happy with the way it came out.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how the ship turned out. It's been very nice to go back to that classic RSI styling that a lot of long-time players will have grown up with the Auroran constellation. And it's just nice to see that in a newer visual style.
All right. So yeah, I've said it before, I'm here before. I am, all for, medical play. I have a Metapin, a medical terrapin, an Amble medical terrapin right now. Um, and in the brief time I've played the game, I've tried to do the med beacons before, and well, when they were showing, and they would never work, and then, you know, now they're like never really, not even on there. So supposedly they're supposed to be fixing all that, obviously, with the Apollo and 4.3.1 coming out, and I mean I hope so, because again that's the type of player I am. I mean, of course, I love playing with my brother and my org mates, and the little missions we do, hauling and everything. It's fine, a little mining or whatever. But what I would really want to do, because of the type of the person I am, the player I am, I would like to support others in the verse, as in other games. I've always liked to help others if I can. So yeah, this is up my alley. Now, will I be buying it? I am very tempted. But just like anything else, new ships and whatnot. Can I justify that price tag to myself? And between the two of them, I mean, as I said in videos before, and others have said before, it's kind of like when the Guardian and the Guardian Key came out with a couple dollars difference, you know, but you know a difference in, well, in terms of the Guardian Key, it was just the quantum entangler, and I can't remember if there were a few more missiles or something on there. There might have been. I might be wrong, but still, I mean, there is just a couple dollars difference. So it's just like, why would anyone get the base? You know, and kind of similar, with the between the triage and the medevac, where let me look at it again. I think the difference in prices is it $25 or $50? I think it's just 25. Do, 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 do. Nope, not a Praetorian pack. Excuse me, y'all. You know, not long from work, home from work that long. So, let's see, ships. Apollo. Okay, so yeah, the triage is 250, and the medevac is 275. $25 difference between the two, and the medevac, as it said in the video, has more missiles, tougher armor. Um, and I'm trying to remember. I think um, can't remember. You would think by logic the medevac is slower. Again, the speed's not a huge difference, but again, let me pull it up and look at it. Da-da-da. Mm, compare. Okay, so next at the triage speed is 205. Um, again, two turrets, two size two, no, one size two turret, which I think is like eight, no, however many missiles it is, with 28 SCU worth of cargo. And let me pull up the variant. Sorry, my other computer is a little slow, so should have probably just pulled it up here. Um, Sorry, bear with me. Okay, so you have medical and development specifications. Okay. Exit. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the medevac is 195 meters per second, where the triage is 205. So a whole 10 meters per second difference, really. I mean, that's in SCM mode, not nav. Weaponry. Okay, so all right, so okay, so that's obviously one major change from the initial information in the matrix for these two, because originally it had the triage had one size 2 TBC laser cannon, um, and two in quotation marks. So I guess there's actually two. No, all right. And whereas the medevac has says 1 by 2, 1 times 2. Okay, I guess because it's just one thing as opposed to like four things by it. Size 2 TBD, um, ballistic by Gatling guns. As I said, it showed the size 4s and 3, so that's changed. And it also had, like, originally for the triage, no missiles, and it had um, two 2 by 2 size 2 missiles. So I think that's like, okay, four technically, like two missile banks that had, two or whatever, to BD. So okay, so they've changed that completely. Whereas the triage is, so as the triage does have missiles, obviously the medevac has more armor, um, and whatnot. So that $25, it's, I mean, definitely, I guess you could say definitely worth it between the two. So I have to wonder, just as many of us have wondered many times, why CIG, how they do their pricing like this. Because, I mean, if it were like a $50 difference between models, that I don't know, because even as I'm saying this and thinking about this now, again, yes, more missiles, heavier armor, speed. I mean, I guess that could be worth a good little monetary difference, but to have it at, such a small difference between the two, it's just like, what's the point? You know, um, and at first when the first pictures were out, This the way they are. I thought maybe they look slightly different, but then of course I noticed that nope, they're pretty much identical. And seeing it on the video, we see that again. They are for, and I mean again, as I'm looking at specifications, they are for all intents and purposes identical, unless where they used to have the same SEU, unless they changed that between the two or something. So, yeah, I'm just I don't know. I mean, of course there'd be if I were to get it, justifying that price tag as opposed to other things, I need to be spending money on or more likely paying back on the credit cards. Um, but if I did, obviously, unless they do change the pricing when they release them, which again it seems like it'll be this week. Um, yeah, I mean, I would have to go with the Medevac. I mean, because just $25 a lot different. So I don't know. I'll have to watch, I guess, some of the videos that are out to again see any differences that I'm totally missing. But anyways, that being said, I've rambled. Thank you for watching. As always, feel free to share, subscribe. Hope you give me a like if you like my content. Those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. Hit the notification button so you know when I drop something new. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Star Citizen Behind the Ships RSI Apollo video. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.